Hi guys, and welcome back to Sensi Fishing. I'm your host John. Excuse me. Um, Today I thought I'd cover my choice of a tackle bag. I don't really like the big bulky backpacks where I'm lugging a lot of equipment around. Some of the places I go, it's got some pretty rough terrain. So what I chose to do was go out and get a pouch or a fanny pack, whatever you like to call it. It has the adjustable strap, it has several different compartments. Compartment in the back, I like to keep my line cutters, and I like to keep a set of split ring pliers / clippers as well. It'll do both for me when I'm changing out treble hooks on crankbaits. If they get bent out or broke, it's quick and easy to have that on you. And the inside, it's got a big main pouch, if you can see that. Plus it has another breathable spot, and it also has a spot in the front. Along the front, and I'm kind of putting some of the stuff back in as we go here, but I like to keep a lure retriever. A couple of the places I go, they're pretty full of snags, so I like to have something so I can get back some of my expensive crankbaits. So that kind of covers the pouch and a few of the storage things that are pretty simple. Let me go into what I do for the inside. And while we're at this, today I went out fishing, so I'm going to kind of show you what was in the bag, what lures I was throwing, and what I was catching fish on today. So on the inside, a perfect fit for this pouch is one of these nice little Plano waterproof boxes. Snap it up, keep all my hard baits in it, keeps them nice, keeps them organized, keeps them dry if it were to fall in water, if it's raining, won't rust out my hooks. So I do slide that down in there. Typically, I'll carry a nice assortment of lures in this little fanny pack. You'll see it was quite a bit of stuff that I was carrying and throwing around today, walking one of the farm ponds and catching some bass. So let's kind of go over what I had in the bag. I had a couple different types of square bills in the bluegill color. Not really going to cover a lot of the names on these. I'm just kind of running through them real quick. This one is a Yamamoto crankbait. This one has got quite a few bass on it. They love this kind of natural crawdad color. A couple, I don't have the other one here. It's actually tied on still. It was what I was catching all the fish on today, but it was the little Lunker Hunt square bill. This is the same thing. This one's more in a shad color. The one I was catching on is that red crawdad color. I think they call it Pyromaniac. I'm not quite sure what they call this color, but it's a shad color. A couple of the ponds I'm going to are loaded with shad, so it's a great thing to throw. Imitate that. Last square bill I was carrying today was a KVD Sexy Shad. I believe this is the fluorescent Sexy Shad. The bass are just in love with this bait at every one of my local ponds that I've been fishing. On the top water side, I got a small Pop X in that shad color. This Megabass popper has got the little fluted sides on the mouth, so it does provide a little bit of a splash along with that regular pop sound. Great little top water action. Then as far as the last couple of hard baits I'm carrying, this one is a Bass Pro Shop. It's kind of their knockoff S-Waver in a 128 size, again in a shad color. It's a great glide bait, providing quite a bit of catches on that as well. These pressure lights, I like to keep a little bit of variety and give them a little bit of a choice. Some things that they don't see. Real cheap bait that I picked up. Not sure if it was going to work, but it has caught a few fish. It's actually pretty banged up. It's one of those multi-jointed, multi-segmented glide baits. I think this was at Black Friday. I got this for $1.99. I think they run like $5.99 regular. It does have really good action in the water, and like I said, it has produced quite a few fish for me. Kind of banged up and tore up. Alright, so we'll move away from the hard baits, kind of go over some of the other stuff. Some of the stuff I'm throwing loose inside the bag. Some of it I am putting in a pouch. Going to like the little plastic bags. It's got a little zipper. Kind of keeps some of the hooks from getting tied up, tangled up inside. This is a swim jig with a beaver on the back and that black and blue color, 3/4 ounce. Then I got a couple of smaller swim jigs and a small finesse jig. Again, I try to keep some of the stuff in these little pouches while they're in there. Keep things from getting all tangled up and twisted up while I'm inside. A little assortment of, well, it's not really much of an assortment anymore, but some Texas rigging stuff. Regular owner hook, or not owner hooks, I'm sorry, Trokar hooks, a couple bullet weights. I got to get my bobber stops back in there for pegging. Great for when I'm switching out, when I'm finding bedding bass, throwing some different types of creature baits, anything I'm Texas rigging, keeping it weedless in through there. I throw a lot of swim baits around, the small Keitech style swim baits. This is the 3.8, the 4.8. Both of these are on that VMC head. Great swim bait head. Produces a lot of fish. A couple different options. If I need to go with a little heavier head, I do switch up to that Megabass. If you can see that, it's got the double wire keeper on it, so it keeps your swim bait nice and pegged. This is what they call a body balance. It'll sit perfectly flat on the bottom. It's great for right now, pulling it through some of those nests where these bedding bass are. Some of these bass at these lakes they're being real finicky. They're not really wanting to eat. I've noticed that when I've thrown it in, dragging along, popping it and shaking it right in front of them. These bass aren't necessarily wanting to eat, but I'm able to stop this and let it sit on the bottom. It keeps that tail up, it keeps that paddle tail moving, and eventually that bass just makes the wrong mistake and grabs that, and it works great. It's a great option versus the regular swim bait head. Another couple of different ways I'll rig up a swim bait around here. This is just a couple of different colors. I just pulled everything out of the bag so it'd be easy. These are the scroungers. Works kind of like a chatterbait. Gets out in front, does that side to side shake. It's a great option to give the bass a little different look to a regular standard jig or swim bait. One of the things I did notice, just kind of like they talk about on a chatterbait, a lot of times I rigged that Keitech upside down or that paddle tail upside down. Sometimes I'll throw a beaver behind that or a rage crawl. Great couple of options. You can run a twister tail and such behind it. Produce a lot of nice bass. Great for areas where you're catching white bass and things of that nature. Then I move into underspin type things. This is the Lunker Hunt Hatch. It's a little different presentation. I don't really have to do anything. Tie it on. Treble hook in front. Nice blade in the back. Kind of hop that around. Kind of spin that through. Work that. Great presentation. When I'm looking to kind of do my own with the underspin, got a couple different options. Not quite sure who makes that one. Might be VMC. Great underspin. Nice keeper on it. Doesn't hold the baits on quite as well as I like, but it does do the job. The other one that I have started throwing, and I like a lot, it's got a double lead keeper on it. This is the Megabass version. It's a great underspin. Does a fantastic job. It's got that kind of that same nose that that body balance has. So even in areas where I'm noticing bass and they're wanting a little different look, I can stop this. The blade will sit underneath on the bottom, but I can get that nose up and keep that twister tail or swim bait up behind it and keep some more action going on. Standard spinnerbait that I've been throwing, there's nothing standard about it. I shouldn't really say that. I've been throwing it in a white, is that Mullock spinnerbait. It's just been flat out wrecking these bass. That triple willow leaf, I believe that when the bass are seeing that, it's resembling a good school of shad. A couple of the ponds that I'm fishing are full of shad. This has been a great producer. Haven't ran a trailer hook on it. Haven't run a trailer bait on it. It does have a nice hook. It has a decent bait keeper on the back of there for you. all of this again on. You can see I've got quite a bit of bait that I'm carrying in that little pack, and I'm not even through. I'm about halfway through it, but not all of it. Another spinnerbait type option. You've heard me talk a lot about it. It's that Live Target bait ball spinner rig. Worked at either hopping it off the bottom or reeling it through the water like a spinnerbait. Another great bait for these shad loaded lakes. They're just simply manhandling that. The other thing that I've been throwing a lot lately and producing, this one I've got it set up in a crawfish type bait, is the chatterbait. 3 different ones. I've got more of the natural green pumpkin, again crawdad rig. This one's in the black and blue. Don't currently have a trailer on it, which is nice because I want to show you a little bit about that. Then I've got more of the bluegill color, shadish color. Got that Yamamoto Zako on the back of that. It's been a great producer for me. Talking about the chatterbait, these are all the Z-Man jackhammers, the Z-Man Evergreen jackhammer. Some of the things I like about it does have a better blade that matches the head, better components. Nice thing about it is it's got that heavier duty Gamma hook with a double wire keeper. Once you're putting your swim baits on the back of that or your trailer on the back of that, guys, if you can see that, that holds that bait on really, really well. They are pricey, $15.99, $16.99 a piece, but they definitely just flat out catch them. This one and I've got some of the originals, and I think I got a couple customs. This one happens to be my absolute favorite. A little bit better components. Nice thing about this, Matt Allen from Tactical Bassin did cover it. Once you do stop this or start it, change your cadence, deflecting off of things, these guys do start up immediately. I've been hopping these off the bottom as well. I'm kind of working them like you would a regular Texas rigged worm or a creature bait, and they start up, flutter down, start up, flutter down, start up, flutter down. Do a great job. They do start immediately, unlike some of the other ones. I've done the Strike King. It takes it a while before that blade gets out in front and starts moving. Then the last components that I had in the box today, I had a couple of the Yamamoto Hula Grubs, a couple beavers, more of that natural crawl color, black and blues, rigger crawls, go right on those trailers. And one of the things I've been catching a few of these bedding bass on are the chigger, the Crazy Lakes chigger crawls. A couple different colors. This is the red flake. This is the green pumpkin. Both of them work really, really well. They've been catching a lot of bass. Cheap bait. This is definitely a cheap bait. You can pick these up at Walmart, just a couple bucks a bag. Make sure you can tear apart all the appendages before you fish them. Get maximum action out of them. But those definitely catch bass. These are another inexpensive crawl. They work really well. They've got real light pinchers on the front. Once you get that thing and it's sitting in the position it's supposed to, these appendages definitely get up there, and they're definitely waving in the water. It's great for enticing those nice bass. I think these beavers, or the beaver styles, these are Havocs. Again, it's just depending on what the bass are looking for on that particular day. I do try to keep quite a few different things in my tackle bag. As you see, guys, I store a lot of different baits, so I have a lot of different options while I'm walking, all inside this small pouch. That front pouch only generally will hold my lure retriever, and then the main compartment, I'll throw everything else in it. I'm good to go while I'm walking. I got it right on my waist. Unzip it. If I'm looking for something that's not in the plastic plano box, I'll keep some of the stuff in again, just plastic worm bags, grub bags, things like that I'm recycling. I keep them in there, try to keep things nice, organized as best I can. And it helps me catch more fish because I've got more baits and more options while I'm on the water. I don't have that big bulky backpack. I felt like when I was trying to do a backpack, I was loaded up with way too much gear. I don't need 20 beavers in the areas I'm going, I can still park my car close enough that if I tear up 2 beavers, you know, it's a short walk back to the car and I can reload. This keeps me lightweight. There is a spot that I go, and I got to go down quite a bit of a trail, so this helps me cut down on the weight. I'll take the lure retriever out for that. Most of the time I'm just fishing grubs, inline spinners, things of that nature, bluegill fishing, crappie fishing, catching some rock bass, things of that nature. So I have another one of those little plano boxes that I have some terminal tackle in for that type of fishing. I can just swap the 2 in and out. Plan on getting a couple more of those little small plano boxes so I can have them, so I can switch them in and out. That way if I've got one pond where I'm producing where I'm catching fish on the bluegill type baits, or more bluegill loaded, you can have more of like a bluegill colored bait box, and then have more of a shad colored box, and I kind of mix in some crawdad colors as well. Plus those are small enough too if I want to throw one in my pocket along with it and add some light tackle in it. I'm not going to be weighted down. Carry 1 rod generally. Sometimes I will carry a second rod, just depending on what I'm fishing with that day and what the conditions are and what I feel the needs are. Anyway guys, that's going to wrap it up. I want to try to go through that real quick. Kind of knocked off 2 videos in one. I talked about wanting to do the start of what's in my box for the day video, what I'm catching fish on, so you can actually see what I have, what I'm catching a bass on, and I also went through quick how I like to carry my own tackle when I'm walking around the pond. It's lightweight, quick, effective, and it does the job. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, give me a like, share the videos. I'm going to keep putting these videos out and try to keep up some great informative information. We will have fishing videos coming soon. I've just been very, very busy, so when I'm shooting a fishing video, you know, they could be upwards of 2.5, 3 hours long. Those are the only videos where I really need to go through and do some type of editing, so I can cut out those in-between catches, or in between where I'm trying to talk about something periods out. Nobody really cares to see that, and I don't think I can hold people's attention for 2.5 hours. Especially if I'm just catching 10 bass in at 2.5 hours and there's 15-20 minutes in between catches, or trying to give you a little tip or tactic along the way. Again guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.